Hey there, science enthusiasts! Today I'm diving deep into a topic that's been making headlines lately, Spermageddon. Cue the dramatic music, but don't get too worried just yet. So, what's all this talk about Spermageddon? Think of it as a headline that sounds like the start of a sci-fi novel. The idea here is that human sperm counts are falling, and it's got people wondering if we're headed towards extinction by infertility. But here's the kicker, it's not as clear-cut as it seems. I spoke with Prof. Allan Pacey, a male fertility researcher and sperm biologist at the University of Manchester, and Prof. Sarah Harper, director of the Oxford Institute of Population Aging. The bottom line? There are causes for concern, but that doesn't mean we're in the midst of a crisis. So why do some people think we're facing Spermageddon? It all goes back to a study from 1974 that found sperm counts in American males were down compared to the 1950s. Reports since then have blamed everything from climate change to microplastics. But not all experts are convinced. Another study from the same year used the same data and came to different conclusions. Pacey warns about confirmation bias, pointing out that inconsistent data sets and different age groups in the studies could affect results. Decades later, we still haven't sorted it out. Pacey remains skeptical, noting that a 21-year study in 2018 found little change in Danish sperm quality. His own study on Danish donors showed no evidence of a decline, except for sperm motility during COVID-19. And a recent review in Nature found that while there are pockets of decline, the data doesn't support a global deterioration in sperm quality. So, is global infertility on the rise? It depends on how you define infertility. Birth rates are falling, but there's no evidence of a global trend of people struggling to conceive. Harper points out that in a world of 8 billion people, a small percentage facing infertility doesn't impact the bigger picture much. More people are attending infertility clinics, but that's likely due to increased treatment opportunities and less stigma. Many are also choosing to have children later, which raises infertility risks. Pacey calls it a scientific leap of faith to link issues like microplastics directly to infertility. So why are populations declining in many parts of the world? Families are having fewer children and not replacing themselves naturally. But the UN projects the global population will grow to 9.7 billion by 2050 before flattening out. Pacey thinks it's more about economic development than an infertility epidemic. Harper agrees, citing higher infant survival rates, family planning, and women's education as key factors. Should we be worried? Harper believes infertility is crucial for affected families but isn't concerned about global birth rates. She sees population decline as a positive for a finite planet. Pacey is concerned about barriers to fertility support and social issues like poverty and domestic violence linked to infertility. But he's less convinced it's due to human factors alone. In the end, Harper doesn't rule out future fertility problems from contamination, but thinks the decision to have children and its variables are more pressing. She doubts we'll see a global impact large enough to worry about. So while Spermageddon makes for a catchy headline, the truth is far more nuanced. Keep thinking critically and stay curious. Catch you in the next one.